Hey there, Central Ohio. Thanks for watching 10 TV Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens, and welcome to the 10 Weather Impact Show on this really cold weather Tuesday across Central Ohio. We woke up this morning to single-digit temperatures and wind chills that were quite a bit below zero. That prompted a 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day early in the day today, but now we have warmed up this afternoon some, and well, we're looking ahead to the next round of 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Days. That is going to come as we head toward the end of the week and into early next week. And it's coming for essentially the same reasons that we had this first round of impact days, and that is for bitter cold wind chills. This second round of winter alerts is going to come again Friday afternoon, evening into Friday night, early Saturday. We look for another round of sub-zero wind chills as we head into Sunday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Sunday night, Monday morning. A lot of words to fit in there because there's a lot of cold weather heading our way as we head into this upcoming weekend. Sub-zero wind chills expected through those time periods. That's why we'll have those new impact alert days as we get toward the weekend. As for now, outside it is nice and sunny. It's just not especially warm sunshine out there. We're seeing blue skies and pretty conditions, but the air temperature is only up to about 18 degrees, so it is still pretty cold. We have pushed the feels like temperatures back up into positive territory. Feels like temperature this afternoon sitting about 5 degrees. Winds have shifted to a more southerly direction. That's going to help pull temperatures up as we head toward tomorrow. It's going to bring us a small chance for some rain and snow too, but I don't think it's going to be very impactful, and the winds out there not as gusty as yesterday either, also helping with our wind chill factors. Here's a look at the low temperatures we made earlier this morning. Down officially to 6 in Columbus, 6 Lancaster, 3 in Washington Courthouse, -2 for air temperature in Marysville. That's not the wind chill. You guys are actually down sub-zero this morning. Mansfield at 0, Marion, Kenton at 1, Cambridge also at 1, and Millersburg at 3 earlier today. Those winds out there again taking on that more southerly direction. Still seeing some wind chill factor though, because it's a little breezy in a few spots. 21-mile-per-hour gusts in Lancaster, 20 in Newark, 21 in Marion, not as bad in Columbus, and calm back out toward Urbana. Those wind chill factors again have lifted for the most part out of the negative range. There's a few stragglers up to the north. Mansfield still feels like -7. Kenton still feels like -2. Everyone else across the board back up into positive territory, and we should see that trend continue as temperatures continue to get warmer throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the day tomorrow. Here's a look at your next 12 hours. Temperatures tonight drop down into the teens. Not going to be nearly as cold as it was last night. We should see cloud cover start to build in as we head past midnight, and notice the temperatures actually start rising very early into the day tomorrow. That southerly wind really starting to pull things up after midnight. We go from about that 13, 14 degree mark about midnight all the way up into the upper teens by 3 a.m. and that pattern is only going to continue upward as we head into the early part of the day Wednesday. Hour by hour with your feels like temperatures, we're going to stay single digits for much of the rest of the evening into early tomorrow, but as we get into early tomorrow, those wind chills start to improve, and by the afternoon we've got much milder air in place. Wind chills still in the 20s, but air temperatures should be up into the 30s, so we're not going to have to deal with any of that bitter cold air, at least for now. It does return in short order. We're up to a high tomorrow, 38 degrees. That's about where we should be for this time of the year. Thursday, a little colder, down to 31, but then that bitter blast of cold air comes right back in force by the end of the week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all 3 days down into the teens for our high temperatures in the afternoon. Our morning temperatures are likely to be back in single-digit territory. Put that with some wind, and that's why we have the impact days next weekend as sub-zero wind chills look to return. Let's keep an eye on other potential winter weather too. We've got that rain-snow mix chance out there tomorrow. We've got another snow chance coming this weekend too, but I gotta warn you guys, the accuracy and the confidence in this weekend storm system is still quite a bit up in the air. I know there's a lot of people talking on social media about some big snow potential this coming weekend, and there certainly is, but I think more of that is targeted to the south. At least is where the data looks now. Could that change? Could that move further north into Ohio? It's a possibility, but it's something we'll have to wait and see as we get closer to that event to actually say for sure. But for now, let's go ahead and give you the latest hour-by-hour forecast. We're looking at sunshine that continues out there through the afternoon. It is going to be a continued quiet afternoon of weather across central Ohio. We'll see cloud cover not really a factor until about midnight and beyond. After that point, things start to get a little bit overcast as our next potential weather maker slides through heading into tomorrow. Scattered snow showers mixing with some rain as temperatures warm will be a possibility throughout the day tomorrow. Those snow showers not all that impactful, and again mixing with rain too, so any kind of real accumulation is going to be quite minimal, well under an inch in many spots. As we head into Wednesday night, early Thursday, a little bit of lingering snowflake activity will take us into the day, but other than that we should be back to sunshine Thursday. I would not expect to see any real additional accumulation come as we head in from Wednesday into Thursday either. Here's a look at snowfall forecast as we see that a little bit of a system push through Wednesday into Thursday. Not a whole lot to write home about here. Very minimal accumulation potential in central Ohio. That does increase some. You can kind of see it toward the top of the map there. Some darker blues in northern Ohio where you might get a little bit more in the way of accumulation, especially as you look up toward the northeastern lake effect zones. But as far as a snowmaker here in central Ohio, not a lot of potential with this one. Let's go on from Thursday toward the weekend. Friday, we'll start to see cloud cover increase a little bit. Maybe a flurry drifts down from the lake effect regions, but I wouldn't expect anything of substance from that. Heading into Saturday, cold air is back in place. Very bitter cold conditions through the day, but then all eyes turn to that system to the south. This is by Saturday evening. You can see a little bit of that snowfall working its way up to along the I-70 corridor, but much heavier snow remains to the south. We go from there into Sunday, and the newest models bring a little bit more of that snow further north. Again, this is still a much more southern high impact system, but we could be dealing with some of that snow on Sunday. By the time we head into Monday, I think we're pretty much past the bulk of that snow potential, but we will still be sitting in some bitter cold air come Monday morning. Again, all that cold weather in our forecast, that's the reason for this trio, quadruple, lot of impact day, a lot of red that we have here toward the back end of the forecast. We're expecting again sub-zero wind chills by Friday afternoon. That'll continue into Saturday morning as our air temperature drops all the way down to that 2-degree mark, only warming to about 13 by Saturday afternoon. We'll be back into the single digits with sub-zero wind chills Sunday morning and again on Monday morning with temperatures of 8 and 5 degrees. We do start to warm back up late Monday. Hopefully we can shake that next burst of Arctic air. All I got to say is if you got to get out and do something this week that's outside, I'd do it Wednesday or Thursday because that is definitely the much warmer conditions. We made our way up to around the 20-degree mark by the time the sun goes down today, up to 38 for Wednesday, 31 out there Thursday. Either of those 2 days, best days to get outside for sure, because if you don't, it's going to be a nice long stretch of cold air heading back into central Ohio. And again, those weather impact alert days. We're going to keep a close eye on all of that cold air and that potential for snow this weekend. I'm not worried about the snow just yet, but that could change. And I want to stress that with you guys. You need to make sure you watch the forecast a couple days here back to back to see how that pattern is shifting, because we're going to let you know all that you need to know to be prepared here on 10 TV. Speaking of weather, let's go back to the cold weather. If you use public transit today, all COTA fares have been waived thanks to the cold. That means no fares for all transit vehicles, including fixed route buses, COTA Mainstream, and COTA Plus services. If you are leaving the house this afternoon, here are some safety tips to keep in mind before hopping in your car as well. 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald breaks down what you need to know.
crews here at the Hilliard Garage are doing pretty much what they would normally do. No major concerns as far as snow, but those cold roadways obviously creating some challenges. You can see as of right now, we've got most of the trucks in the garage, mechanics regularly checking them, making sure they're ready to go out in case they need to. But if you have to go out anytime over the course of the next couple of days, there are some safety tips to keep in mind. As crews hit the road across the state, many workers are also working in the cold to keep you safe. Should you be one of those workers or find yourself outside for any reason, limit how long you are in the cold for. Pay attention for signs of frostbite and hypothermia, such as slurred speech, uncontrollable shivering, and drowsiness. Meantime, AEP is reminding their customers that the extreme cold could cause your heating system to work a little harder, and that could ultimately lead to a higher electric bill. Right now, I'm told crews aren't treating the roads any differently than they normally would just because it is so cold. There's not much they can do. However, they are closely monitoring the situation and will adjust as needed. For now, reporting in Hilliard, Amy Steckerwald for 10 TV News.
Thanks, Amy, for that report. And while we're dealing with this intense cold, communities just a couple hours north, well, they've been seeing some heavy snowfall. This is what it looked like in Poland, Ohio, which is up near the Youngstown area. Visibility low due to all the snowfall they received. It looked like there's probably several inches of snow in that yard and just big fat flakes coming down. I know they're part of that lake effect corridor up there to the northeastern part of the state. Definitely some impressive snowfall coming down there. And check out this video. This shows ODOT crews on the road staying in sync and plowing up all of that fresh snow up along Lake Erie. Impressive operation there. This video comes from Lake County in northeast Ohio at US 20. Just look how those plow operators are driving in tandem. A cool sight to see for sure, and all that teamwork definitely helps out in getting those roads cleaned and ready to go. And just a few hours north, whiteout conditions were reported in the city of Batavia, New York, in between Buffalo and Rochester. That region is seeing a major snow event, with some spots seeing 2 to 3 inches per hour. That is a ridiculous amount of snowfall coming down there. You can see just how blindingly white those conditions are. You can kind of hear it in the background too, that wind howling with those snowstorms. And while we've been dealing with the cold, new data from NOAA shows that 2025 was the third warmest year on record globally. This all while upper ocean heat content was at a record high and annual sea ice levels ranked in the top 3 lowest. Northern hemisphere snow cover was also the third lowest on record. Of course, all this warmer weather can impact our animal friends even more than ourselves, and that's especially true when it comes to cold climate creatures like penguins. Now scientists warn that climate change is causing the iconic birds to speed up their breeding schedule, a shift that could threaten their survival in Antarctica. CBS's Tina Kraus has the story.
As the coldest place on Earth warms, Antarctica's penguins are racing to keep up. Climate scientists say the birds are now breeding about 2 weeks earlier than a decade before.
They are moving their breeding time at record speeds, like faster than any other vertebrate.
A 10-year study used remote control cameras to capture chinstrap, adelie, and gentoo birds in dozens of colonies.
These cameras tell us things like when the first penguin adults turn up to breed, when the chicks hatch. They also tell us the temperature, where those cameras are positioned.
Researchers found temperatures in breeding grounds rose 4 times faster than the Antarctic average, pushing all 3 species to start raising chicks sooner. Scientists are now watching to see if the food supply lines up with the new breeding schedule, because if it doesn't, babies could go hungry.
And this could have impacts on their breeding success. This is on how many penguins they can raise every year.
Researchers say they'll keep studying penguins to ensure the cutest creatures on the planet can cope in one of Earth's harshest environments. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
And finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. Starting first up to the north, a multi-car pileup started forming on West I-196 from 32nd Avenue to 64th Street just after 10 in the morning. This was up in Ottawa County, Michigan. It eventually evolved into a 100-car pileup, including multiple jackknifed semi-trucks and an estimated 30 to 40 semis in total. Overall, this caused a complete closure of 196 for 10 miles from Zeeland, Michigan to Hudsonville, Michigan. According to Ottawa County Sheriff's Office, deputies and Michigan State Police troopers were responding to that crash. Buses from Hudsonville High School and Max Transit actually had to take stranded motorists from the crash site, where winds were recorded as high as 40 miles per hour with 6 to 12 inches of snow in the forecast for that region. Well, they eventually ended up at Hudsonville High School while they worked to clean up that crash. Preliminary outlooks show that this crash, thankfully, was mostly fender benders and slide-offs, and only minor injuries were reported to officers and dispatchers. OCSO deputies did not have a count on how many people were eventually injured with this crash, at least not as of this story being written. However, they said none are known to be fatal, which is a good thing when you get a big crash like that. Strong winds out there mixed with numerous lake-effect snow showers, creating blinding whiteout conditions. Travel obviously not advised in those situations, but sometimes it's already too late and you see the aftermath of that crash there. Amazing video out of Michigan. And to the opposite side of the world and the opposite side of the weather spectrum, check out this one. A heavy dust storm swept across Libya on Tuesday, reducing visibility and forcing the suspension of flights to international airports. That was Tuesday, as in today, Tuesday. The eastern city of Benghazi, the second largest city in Libya, and the area was severely affected by the storm, was covered in a dense haze. Flights at Tripoli's airport and Benghazi's airport were temporarily suspended due to these bad weather conditions, according to statements posted to the two facilities on their Facebook pages. Back in 2023, thousands of people were actually killed and thousands more reported missing in the eastern cities there after floods caused by a huge Mediterranean storm that burst dams and swept away buildings. Also wiped out as much as a quarter mile of the city. Thankfully, not that kind of storm this time, but amazing, the dust storm there that has been kicked up by those strong winds. And again, thankfully, we're not dealing with either of those two extremes. No big blizzards, no big dust storms, but we have been dealing with that extreme cold. We are warming up over the next 2 days. We get a little bit of a reprieve, but as you saw at the beginning of the show, our forecast is heading right back for the cold. More 10 TV weather impact alert days as we head toward the end of the week and the start of next week. So make sure you're staying with 10 TV for the latest on that. And of course, the latest on that evolving snow situation heading toward the weekend. I'll be back at 4, 5, and 6 tonight, as well as 11, to break down the updated forecast. Until then, you can catch more news and weather online, 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon.